Welcome to Port City Uncensored. This week brought to you by BarkBox, a monthly surprise box of toys, treats, and unleashed joy for your dog. And by Donna, your local realtor with PMZ Real Estate. And now, let's kick this mother into gear.
Greetings. Hello to everyone out there listening live, Port City Uncensored. Welcome. I'm J-Man Jack, your host here for the next hour or so. And Scotty will be joining us remotely this evening. The cold and flu season is upon us, and he's feeling a bit under the weather. My sinuses ain't doing too great tonight, but either way, I am here, and we shall get our show underway. Let me pull someone up here. Mr. Alex, what's going on?
Yo, how's it going?
All righty, and I believe you're having a special day today?
Yes, sir. You can hear me, right?
Oh, yeah, hear you fine. Yes, happy birthday wishes.
Thank you. I think the video is a little messed up. I'm gonna try to. Can you see me or?
I can see you and hear you fine.
Okay, because I think on my end I can't see myself, but I celebrated a birthday today, turning the big 27.
All righty.
But what's it called? Yeah, man. Just thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate the wishes.
Okay, well, hey, I'm glad you took the time to be with us tonight. We have Scotty in the house. Scotty, can you hear us?
Hey, boys, how's it going?
All right, he's got the MAGA avatar.
This guy's a natural troll.
All right, well, I guess we'll get some comments about that this evening, so it's all good. And all righty, and hopefully, Nelson, we got a few other people are supposed to be joining us here, hopefully shortly. But anyway, so tonight, I guess kind of a carry on from last week's show. We had another city council meeting here on Tuesday, and I must say it was overall more civil than the previous one last week. But there were, they did get a lot of business done, regular business, but there were some interesting moments and some interesting things said. And once again, Jason Lee, Vice Mayor, is once again kind of in the middle of it all. And so why don't we start things off? Let's start with his comments. And
while that's playing, I'm just gonna exit and re-enter. I just want to see. I think because on my end with the stream, I don't see myself. So
all right.
And I have my camera, so I'm just gonna exit and come back.
All right, we will be here.
All right.
Okay, first let me start by saying that tonight's meeting went very different than I expected. So I want to start by saying that I really enjoyed the fact that we got through almost everything. The most exciting thing I was waiting for, we did not get to, but I'm hoping that we do next meeting. But I do have comments that include my reaction to our last meeting because we did not have council comments at that meeting. First thing I want to say to the new city manager coming in, I look forward to working with him. And I really appreciate all the members of the public that came out tonight to talk in support of or in concern of the future direction of this City Hall. And I look forward to him working with staff and to working with him as well. The last time we had a meeting here, our special meeting, we had a conversation about the letter that was unauthorized by our city manager, our interim city manager at the time. And I want to thank the council for voting 7-0 to forward those concerns that were brought here to the referring agencies, because now we can finally get past a lot of the stuff that happened with the last city manager so this group can move forward, because I know all of us individually and collectively want to do that. I want to thank PD, the chief, the assistant chief, Captain Morris, for meeting with me and Councilmember Enriquez today to go over crime stats by district. I think it was a really informative experience to be able to see where things are trending up and where things are actually getting better. And so I just want to thank the staff at the department for doing that, and all of the officers who are doing a great job at getting our community safer. I did see a post by Congressman Harder where he talked about robberies increasing in Stockton, and I did send him a letter yesterday, and I copied the chief on the fact that our department is doing a phenomenal job, and we do see crime going down in our city. And I think narrative and storytelling is really important, and I want to acknowledge the work that our department's doing. And I invited the congressman to a conversation to help us get some federal dollars, because there's always a need here in our community, and so I'll be following up on that. I had a meeting with the NAACP and the BIA about our CESP agreement, where we talked about making sure that the jobs that we talked about creating for or outreaching to our marginalized communities are actually, it's a real process. So we talked about what that investment would look like, and I look forward to staff following up on that. Today we handed out hundreds of turkeys and hams in Sierra Vista for South Stockton. I just want to thank R.C. Thompson, the Housing Authority, and Georgia Brown Lee for all their work, because that work is extremely important. And showing up for our community is important. Toys for Joy is returning on December 20th. So for those of you who are in District 6, this is a District 6 event. I welcome everybody to come out. We're expecting 5,000 kids and their families. It's totally free. And Tiffany Haddish will be returning as Miss Claus, and I am actually going to dress up as Santa. Don't take any pictures, but it's going to happen. Okay, so there's that. Exactly. Oh no, you can be Santa too, but you're gonna be Santa over there. I'm gonna be Santa where Tiffany is, but we'll figure that out. The DEI investigation that we started has been completed. I want to thank my committee colleagues for their participation. The report will be finalized and provided to the clerk, so it'll be added to the December 9th agenda. I just want to say for the record, I've asked about our budget book. My understanding is that the budget book is not going to be provided until the investigations that are currently underway about the budget are concluded. So I'm hoping that that happens quickly, and I just want to reiterate for the public that Optic was not in the original budget that we passed. I did send a letter to California State Auditor Malia Cohen requesting that we have a state audit performed here in the city because we lack internal controls when it comes to our finances. We have no auditor, we have no CFO, no AFCFO, no budget officer, no procurement director, and I'm just concerned that, of that, and I've asked Ms. Cohen and her team to look into that. This Saturday, District 6 is going to have our monthly virtual town hall meeting. The meeting is at noon. It'll be promoted on all social media. You can go to my social media, check it out on District 6. And so I want to just speak just in general to what's been happening. And tonight I speak plainly about where we are as a city and where we're headed if we don't immediately course correct. And for months I've been begging for this council, individually and as a group, to focus on the work that the taxpayers have elected us to do. Strengthening public safety, reducing youth violence, growing our tax base, cutting wasteful spending, finalizing our tax share agreement with the county, stabilizing our general fund, and restoring financial responsibility to City Hall. But instead of addressing those urgent issues, I feel like we're in this hamster wheel of chaos, pulled into another political distraction, another targeted attack, another expansion of an investigation for an event that happened in May of 2025. That's wild and out. It's been addressed. The results were available and have been done for a couple weeks now, and we're going into another 2 weeks of not getting closure to an unnecessary political witch hunt. And so it's hypocrisy to say we want to go in a different direction, yet we keep doing the same thing. It's actually the definition of insanity. And it's becoming political theater, which is dangerous to our city. Because while our finances remain unstable, while our internal controls remain weak, while public safety unions are already hinting at potential arbitration, the council continues to prioritize sideshows over solutions. So let me just remind this body of something historically significant and deeply troubling. Stockton is the first city in California under the Trump administration that I know of, and I've done a lot of research, to dismantle its diversity, equity, and inclusion framework. I think that is significant. And it wasn't until I was talking to Ben Crump this weekend that that was pointed out to me, that in a state like California, to be able to see the dismantling of a DEI program under this administration is extremely alarming. Not only that, but it was done in secret. It was done without authorization, without transparency, without any concern for the harmful message that it sends to our diverse community, and more importantly, to the power of this mayor and this council to make that decision if that was the direction that we wanted to go, which for the record, it is not a decision that I want to go and that none of my colleagues have shared they want to go. And when I raised the concerns about that unlawful dismantling, I was not met with support, not with accountability, but with racial troping, now public whipping, because when I think about the movie Roots, Kunta Kinte was beaten until he said his name was Toby, and he refused to say his name was Toby. And I think the expectation is that if you keep whipping me or moving my seat or doing whatever, that I'm gonna fold. That actually emboldens me to go harder, stronger, and be more loud on social media. I don't want to do that, though. And I do want to say this publicly because I think oftentimes when you build a perception that somebody's being difficult or unwilling to compromise or challenging or bucking the system, no. I'm doing the mandate that my district sent me here to do, and that is to provide ethical governance, accountability, transparency, and be able to focus on the issues that are important to them. So let's be very clear. It's not oversight when the person being targeted is the one demanding transparency. That's retaliation, and the public sees it for what it is. And whether we look at social media or the news or not, everybody is saying it, but yet we're still ignoring it. So Stockton's facing the same warning signs that we saw before bankruptcy: rising costs, unstable finances, labor tensions, no clear fiscal direction, and leadership more focused on politics than the people. So if this continues, I fully believe, based on patterns, trends, and decades of financial history, Stockton's at the risk of sliding right back toward bankruptcy. So I think it's important to say that for the record. And so we've been here before, and the people of Stockton is the one that paid the price, emotionally, economically, and for an entire generation. And we cannot and must not allow the city to go backward. And that's where I look to the public to make the decision, because ultimately I'm one voice, my colleagues all the way down to the end are each one voice, and collectively we share a shared obligation that we made to everybody here. But ultimately it takes 4 people to decide the direction that we're going in, and you can see the trend.
All right. Okay, so that was remarks by Jason Lee, Vice Mayor. And let me pull Mr. Alex up here again. Get rid of that. All righty.
The guy, definitely has a lot to say, and it sounds like he's just remarking to previous events that occurred in the city's history, right? So,
Right.
And I like what he said when it comes to, he made the comparison when it comes to Roots and, shutting down people's, opinions and their like voices, where Kunta Kinte was like, he's making the reference to that, where he's like, oh, Kunta Kinte was forced and whipped to say his name was Toby. Whether it is considered or looked upon as a very drastic and harsh comparison, I think that an argument can be said that diversity, inclusion, and equity is definitely important when it comes to the overall market of people. Like, we're all humans, everybody's different. There's no dominant race here, whether it be diversity. Like, we're all different people when it comes to white people are different from other white people. Black people are different from other black people. Same thing with Asian people and Latino and Hispanic folks. So, we're all different. Even like that's it's a really nice comparison to make. But I like what he said, and I definitely, especially what he said to people of Stockton, where it's like, oh, the people are going to be suffering versus the political games that the councils are playing. So that it just goes to show where his priorities are.
Right. And he alluded to a number of things, and of course, going back to the last bankruptcy, he ran down a list of things that were going on that we're seeing going on right now. One in particular is, labor negotiations, and we have a police department that's still without a contract, for instance. That's just one example. I want to welcome Mr. Smith, Bill, on here with us, and course, Nelson once more in the house. Hope you guys are doing well. Thanks for jumping on. And Bill, I want to ask you. I know you were around during the last bankruptcy. Are you seeing similarities between then and now?
Maybe, but not anything that's stark. It's the last bankruptcy was ran. We ran into that bankruptcy due to a eminent domain takeover by the city that they lost a court case and they couldn't afford to pay it, so that ran the city into bankruptcy. Dennis Cochran wrote a book on the bankruptcy, and there's a lot of good information in that book that I'll get the title of it for you guys so you can read it.
Okay.
Um, Basically, what happened in the first bankruptcy was, you know where the arena is. Um, the city did eminent domain on that property, and that property was owned by the Christian Life Center. The Christian Life Center said, "Oh, wait a minute. You're not going to do eminent domain on our property without a fight." So they went to Sacramento and they got a lawyer and they got a judge. And the judge said, "Well, Stockton City, you lose. You need to pay Christian Life Center X amount of dollars for this property that you took from them and started building this ball diamond in this arena, and you need to pay them $30,000 a month for X amount of years." And the city says, "Oh, we can't do that. Let's file bankruptcy." So that's part of the reason why we went into bankruptcy. There was a lot of other it's extenuating circumstances, but that was part of it. Not any of that going on right now. So
It's
Okay.
never good when the city got a pile for bankruptcy.
yeah.
Right.
I've got a way different opinion than than Alex
All right.
on that
Yeah.
take.
Well, yeah. Let's get your take.
All right, boys. Let's see here. So I'm not gonna lie. He had me in the first half. The first half of what Mr. Lee was saying was pretty good, but then he brought up the Kunta Kinte shit, and I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like, oh boy, here we go again, because I believe it's I'll put it like this: there's a reason that the media what's it called makes what's it called assumptions about Jason Lee's, because he brings up the race card whenever he can. It's like, dude, you could have made 1,000 different analogies, and I get the point he was trying to make, though, is that he's essentially saying that he's being silenced for his he has a way different method to what's it called operating on the city compared to the other city council members, and that part I agree. It's just that you're great, bro. Like, you're a great talker. It's just that you stop slipping in the race shit, because you kind of separate. Because it's like I really don't care about Kunta Kinte. What I care about is my city infrastructure failing in the next 5 or 10 years because we can't bring in any money. So it's more like I'll put it like this, boys. When you choose a representative, you want a representative to represent everyone, right? Because that's the point. And when your representative alienates the people that put him into power based on his language and whatnot, because it's like how to put this, like, if a white dude gets in, he's like, "Hey, I'm pro white dude everything." Well, then I guess you could say, like, "Oh, this dude's pretty much like, oh, he's only for white dudes." If a brown dude does it, "Oh, he's only for brown dudes." My point being is, talk like you're a man of all the people, not just some people, right? So I guess that's my take. Another second point is that we do have a problem with youth violence, with the lack of business and whatnot. But what Alex was saying is you also kind of lost me when you said we're all equal. We're not all equal in the sense of culture. We all bleed red. All men bleed red. It's simple. We all live and we all die. But the place our homeland, where we come from, it is not the same. Like, you're right, dude. A white dude from Russia is not going to be the same as a white dude from the deep southern redneck parts of Texas, right? Now, we may look the same, but we come from vastly different cultures. And guess what? It's just in that culture is that in Russia, they're more pro communist party type of shit. America's a more capitalist. So, I mean, we may look similar. Our ideologies are vastly different and oppose each other. And since they oppose each other, it leads us to clashing, which ends up in us killing each other, such as the Cold War. Bill probably remembers this. He remembers the
We're
Red Scare, during the 80s, the nuclear war and stuff. So my point being is that we're not all equal in the sense of that culture aspect, because communism, socialism, whatever you want to call it, doesn't vibe with capitalism.
Yeah,
So who are you representing is my question, right? So it's about, when you're representing someone, choose your words carefully, because people linger on every word. That's my advice to you guys.
I think Jason just falls back onto his base of people that voted and backed him up, which is heavily the African American community. Now, aside from that being said, you can see that Jason is at this point just frustrated because everything that he's proposed or tried to bring in, there are people within the city council that oppose him or are not trying to work with him to try to elevate the city, which is leading to all these conflicts in my eyes. And at this point, it's clear that Jason is obviously frustrated, and he's kind of given up.
Okay. First of all, I want to welcome Donna to the stream. What's going on, Donna? Okay. Hopefully she can hear us.
Yeah, Nelson is right. That I don't blame him for getting pissed off, because when you think about it, if you're the only millionaire who left Stockton, came back, and actually has the money and power connections to back up your solutions that you present, and everyone's like, no, we're just going to block everything. I mean, I guess, I'd be pissed off too, because he's like, I'll put it like this: I may have a different view compared to Jason, but I respect the fact that he's actually capable of enacting what he wants to, because he has the power to do so. But he gets blocked, though. He's getting cockblocked.
Yeah, no, I've seen him try. Try for everybody.
Why are they blocking him? That's my question, though. Despite everything we just said,
I don't understand.
why
don't they understand if they think.
I'll give you a take on that.
Actually, go, Jay, man.
This place has been in bad need of, let's say, having the tree shaken and getting a lot of the dead fruit removed and whatnot.
He's shaking the tree too much.
The rug of bureaucracy has needed to been yanked up and taken out back, thrown over a line, and having a dust beat out of it. And finally, we have someone of his abilities and resources and stature that has come along and is doing exactly that. Okay, and the established order of things is having a little bit of a hard time dealing with it. Now, something was brought to my attention today.
I don't think it's a little bit. They're having an extremely hard time dealing with the amount of pull I guess Jason has. I don't know if it's a credit thing or what it is, but it's a big thing.
Well, put it like this: who do you hear more about on the news, Jason Lee, or I don't even know who the hell is on city council? If you're a young guy, right, who are you going to hear? Jason Lee's probably going to be what you hear first when you Google Stockton news.
He's very outspoken with what he's trying to do.
Yeah, he's a way better talker.
And what he's trying to do is just very logical. It's very logical. It's for the people. And again, like, they're not pushing his agenda because
is there their power?
It seems like everybody has an understanding of it being like very, like, population wise. You guys are thinking like your own like ideals, but in politics, it's just a power grab. That's all he's doing. If you're thinking about it just politically, Jason Lee is politically grabbing power in the sense of people's opinions, and that is why the mayor or other members of city council don't want that, because their backers, their supporters, don't like that.
NGOs, non-government officials.
That's where it's like, oh, like,
but that's the thing. But that's the thing. Like that. That's the thing. The city council is driving the voters towards Jason with the actions that they're making. They're committing, in essence, political suicide because it's mismanaging how they're running the city.
Like, yeah. Right,
okay,
but hold on a second. See, that doesn't matter. Okay, we're not voting on anything. Okay, the people that are pissed off are the same people that have been running this city for years. Okay, Spanos, Groupie, and the like. The people that have big money that are invested in the city of Stockton. Okay, and for some reason, I mean, look at Ralph Lee White. He doesn't like Jason Lee, and right on down the line. And these guys that have had a large voice in Stockton for a lot of years are not on board. Nope. And if they're not on board, and I hate to say it's this way, but it's this way. They're not on board. You're not getting anything through. I don't know who's pulling Christina's chain or who's pulling any other's chain, but I'll guarantee you, you look deep enough, you'll find them. They'll be in there. That's why people get elected. They get people behind them with money, and and that's just the way it goes. And
Right. Yeah, and again, going back to my point that this place has been badly in need for a while now of having them being shook up.
yeah,
And so, yeah, and he's the guy that's coming forth doing it, and unlike a previous mayor who actually wound up in jail for
yeah,
going
yeah,
against the
yeah.
established order, Jason's a guy that's got some money in the bank and a high-powered Beverly Hills attorney, and yeah, he's not going to be quite as easy to fuck with. But what I wanted to bring up from the other night is, and let me get the screen share here going, and let me pull it up here. Okay, this here was on the agenda. 16.5, discussion regarding the potential expansion of the scope of the Wild and Out investigation. All right. Like, it wasn't investigated enough before, and so they want to expand the scope on it. Now, this was put on the agenda, and as is the case with pretty much all the council meetings, they're set up not much different than a comedy show, or you go to a club to see some bands. You've got the headliner, which is always at the end. Then you got a middle act. Then you get some local young guy to
Was
open
it
up.
Wild and Out like 6 or 7 months ago?
Yeah. Okay. So
Didn't they
this, of
already
course,
settle this, that there
yeah, well,
wasn't anything really in there, or what happened?
okay. Well, this was the headline item on the agenda. However, they were not able to get to it. And the reason why is because they have a rule, and I didn't know this, but the meeting went late, and after 11 o'clock, you can't discuss any more new business. Yeah,
Is this
yeah.
really a rule?
Let me,
Wait, is that really a thing?
hold on a second.
Must be a sunset rule.
Let me pull up the, let's see, here we go. I want to.
It's bedtime. It's time for bedtime. 11 p.m. is bedtime.
Because we are over, we are past 11 o'clock, which means we cannot have any new items. So that will be pushed off to a future
Put the
meeting.
volume up. I can't hear
Our
it.
next meeting, I know, is the 9th of December. City manager's update.
What point of clarification really quick, or point of whatever you said I need to clarify? So 16.5, which is, I was excited to hear, we're not going to hear it. The findings from the original investigation have been concluded. Can we at least have those released, or no?
No, your policy says that you can't hear any new business items after 11, so you can't have the discussion at all.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, that's what happened with that. So
See, let me say something here. Jason's a smart guy, okay, and he could make a lasting impact in what he's trying to do, okay. But you're right; he plays the race card too much, and that's not something that people that have power and money in this town like to hear.
Facts.
And I don't have power and money, but I don't like to hear it.
The only color that matters, boys, is the color green.
That's
Well, at
right.
this
That's
point-
right.
Yep.
And so why don't he, if he backed off of that and started, conducting himself, in a little more civil manner, to be more inclusive. You know, I hate DEI stuff. I hate it. It's the worst thing ever invented. But
That's what I'm saying.
and
But skin color shouldn't matter. At the end of the day, you want to go with the most qualified person.
that's
Yeah, it's
right.
about the
That's right.
money. Oh my
That's
god,
right. Right
it's
along
I
with
about the
right,
money.
right along with Martin Luther King. What Martin Luther King says. So
Judge a man by his character, not by his skin color.
that's right.
Exactly. So I don't
Duh.
judge or look at people by their skin color or anything. I literally judge them based on their character and who they are and what they
Like if you treat me like an asshole, I'm assuming you're an asshole, regardless
Now,
of who the fuck you are.
I
Well,
will defend
I,
Jason
I,
in the sorry, Bill, continue,
What?
finish your statement.
that's right. Somebody called my name.
What?
No, I said finish
You're funny. Who? Who said my name? I'm right here.
no, but in the only thing I would have to say in Jason's defense is I can see his frustrations over time basically getting him to this point where he's just tired. He's venting his frustrations in a way that I don't think is necessarily the right way, where he's more or less driving a line between himself and people that he wants to get their support from. However, when the council themselves, including the mayor and others, have week in and week out over the last 3 or 4 weeks, at least that I've seen since I was there with J Man, continue to go against him, I could see why he would get frustrated and get to this point where he just doesn't want to, where he's basically taking a step back, if that makes sense,
Hmm.
from trying to support everybody and just
But
focusing in on
you don't ever get a second opportunity to make a first impression,
Mm-mm.
and that's with Jason. And I know, talking from people that I talk to, and I talk to a lot of people, that that ship has kind of left the dock.
He does it all the fucking time. Is
Well,
Bill's point.
we also
You
got
know
to
what I'm saying?
remember who
So
Jason
you
Lee
know,
is. Like,
and I don't know where I don't and I don't dislike the guy. I just I don't know where what he can do to bring it back, because he brings value to the council. I
he
just
brings
don't
a
know.
lot of value and connections to the city as a whole.
Yeah, and I don't know why. He just needs to back it up a little bit and reconnect. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
All right.
I
Okay.
agree.
so all I wanted to say is my experience, or how I know of Jason Lee, because I didn't recognize him originally until I actually looked at his pictures and his connection to Wild and Out. Um, his first impression to me, like, you would never think this man would have become involved in politics based on like his media career and his persona that he portrayed when he was out there, if that makes sense. But he's managed to get into it. So this is a completely new world for him. And I think he's trying his hardest. Again, for me, like, his first impression was completely different. Seeing him take on this role, I'd say it's a big transition based on like what he was doing before in the comedic and entertainment space. It's a really big transition.
Well, right. And there's a world of difference between his studio down in L.A. and the council chambers here.
Big difference.
Yeah. So on that note, I need to pause for a minute here. We do have a new sponsor tonight that I need to get to, but we're going to pick this up because, well, on that note, and getting back to the whole bankruptcy thing. What? Here's a question you can think about for a minute. What if there was something catastrophic that would lead to, say, lawsuits or something that would be the one thing that could knock the legs out from under the table and get us in another bankruptcy? But we'll get back to that in a minute here. But we do have a new sponsor. And let me pull this up. Scotty, I was going to have you do this ad read tonight, but since you're not here, I will be doing it. So let me pull this up. And I want to get the attention of the dog owners out there. Listen, your dog, he's currently judging you from the couch because you still haven't signed up for BarkBox. And honestly, they're right to be mad. Every single month, BarkBox shows up with 2 brand new genius level toys that will make your dog love their tiny mind, plus 2 full-size bags of treats so healthy you'll be tempted to steal one yourself, but don't. We're talking fully customized tiny terror toys for your chihuahuas, indestructible beasts for your living room wrecking lab, allergy-friendly snacks for the drama queens with sensitive tummies, even extra subscriber-only goodies if you want to go full spoiled. Trusted by over 8 million dogs who have literally never written a bad review. Paws can't type, but you get it. Right now, new subscribers get a free extra toy in every box for a whole year. And shipping is forever free. And that's 12 bonus toys just for not being a procrastinator. And fair warning, once this starts, your dog will sprint to the door every time they hear a truck. Every box, every package, every innocent Amazon envelope, it's all mine in their head now. You've been warned. So stop letting your dog downstare into your soul with quiet disappointment. Click the link in our description or scan that beautiful QR code and get your first BarkBox today before your dog files for emancipation. BarkBox, because your dog deserves better than whatever sad squeaky toy is currently under the couch collecting dust. Go for it, BarkBox. All righty. So, yeah, I want to pull up another thing, and this was brought to my attention today. Jason had made some comments regarding when he first came in that he was given a list of people that basically needed to go. And it was brought to my attention that if this is true and if he can actually prove this, this might be grounds for others, as in city employees that have left, for grounds for possible lawsuits. And so let me play this clip here.
You gotta go. You gotta go.
Okay, first thing I want to say is that when I ran on a promise and I took an oath, and I take that serious. And everybody knows my record of supporting the mayor, funding different people up here. I was the biggest campaign donor for a couple people, and I used my platform, my show, and everything, all my relationships to get us in, because we all ran on a slate called the Stronger, Safer Stockton Coalition, and that's what I believe. I was approached by the mayor after our swearing in, and she said the city manager wanted to resign. I said, fine, let's accept it. 2 days later, we accepted it. A couple days, at that same meeting on the 7th, I made a motion that we have a study session on NOFA funding for housing, and that included not only Vernell Hill's project, but also Carol Ornellis's project, because the mayor had told me prior to taking office that she believed that they were done wrong. And I believed as minority developers in this community, they needed to have the opportunity to be heard, and we needed to review that. And the mayor gave me her list of all the people that worked here that she thought were wrong for the city and wanted to see terminated. I came in gaslit. I came in with that hit list, and if you look at the old tape, I was hard as hell on staff. And then I got in here and started to realize quickly after she put the fox in the hen house that I had been used.
Bam.
Facts.
Yeah, so
that's what I'm saying. Like, he's frustrated because he spent money on these people that are up there that are consistently voting to investigate him or voting against things that he's been essentially like putting to the table. That's why he's frustrated. And I understand why. He spent a lot of money to be treated like this in office and then basically being gaslit the entire time.
Almost none of his policies are getting approved. It's like,
okay, but here's the thing. What was brought up to me today is legalities. Is it even legal for Christina to approach him and hand him a list of people to be like that? I see Bill shaking his head, and that being said, if this indeed was done, and if Jason can prove this, is this a basis for other people who have been dismissed or who have left to now file a lawsuit against the city?
Well, would this also be grounds for impeachment on Mayor Fugazi?
Uh, that I don't know.
No such thing as an impeachment. They'd have to recall her.
Okay.
I'm sure. I'm sure the
Yeah.
lawsuit that'll entail will outlive her term. So it doesn't.
Well, what if there are a number of lawsuits? By a number of ex-city employees, for instance. You know, the, could this be the straw that breaks the camel's back and kicks us down the road of another bankruptcy? Because the last budget, they were short 15, 20 million. They had to scramble to make that up. And so what's it going to look like next year?
Well, my opinion, Stockton is going to head to bankruptcy. And one of the catastrophic events that's going to take place in our city is the influx of golden mussels in our Delta waterways and in our sewer system and our runoff is going to be the catastrophic straw that breaks the camel's back because they're not given the attention that it deserves.
Oh, so can you break it down what that all means, Bill? Because I didn't understand anything.
I'm familiar with the issue, but probably there's a lot of people out there that aren't. Anybody who, like, say, is a boater or spends a lot of time out in the Delta, they've all heard about it. And we're dealing with an invasive species. And yeah, Bill, maybe if you can kind of expand on that for the people, so they know what this is all about. And my question is this actually going to cost that much that it's going to bankrupt the city?
Well, let's take a look at that. Okay, all of our storm drains are connected to the Delta waterway. The Delta waterways has an invasive species called the golden mussel that is going to get into our storm pumps, our storm water pumps, um, pumps that are designed to move heavy rainwater away and out of the city and into the Delta. And once these mussels get in there, they're gonna, these pumps are not going to function. They're not going to work, and it's going to be something that has to be dealt with on more than one level. We have the new gate that they put out there by Dad's Point. That thing is all jammed up with golden mussels already. There's a ton of stuff that is gonna come up and bite this city council in the ass if they're not paying attention. They've put together a group of people that are looking into it and going to try to do something about it. But I'm telling you, this golden mussel has already traveled through the Delta and through the California aqueduct all the way down towards the LA area. So
Wow.
this is
So
not.
how can we deal with this issue?
Well, they got somebody up at UC Davis working on something that will attack it and do away with it. So it's kind of like the plague of the Delta is gonna hit our city. That is
Can we eat the golden mussels, or are they not
No,
edible? Oh, they're not edible.
no,
Oh, wow.
they're toxic, in fact.
yeah.
Wow. So it's an invasive species that.
Exactly.
Oh,
Right,
wow.
and the nobody's sounding the alarm. I mean, there's some people sounding the alarm, like Delta Neighborhood Watch is sounding the alarm. So if you guys want to go on Delta Neighborhood Watch on Facebook and join and look around and see what's there and see if you can lend a helping hand. But this is a big deal, and this is going to cost the city a lot, you know, and so we just need to take an educated look at it, instead of all this bickering that goes on in city council. Meanwhile, there's a plague coming up through our waterways. So, and that's
Right. Now, what about state agencies? Since you said this goes all the way down to LA, it's obviously a coastal problem. Is the state involved? Or are they helping?
The state's involved. They're notified. Everybody's been, state. I don't know if the federal's involved yet, but they will be. And it's not just coastal. It doesn't live in salt water or brackish water. It lives in the type of water we have here. This
The more inland waterways.
have more calcium, and like all the reservoirs around our area are not allowing boats that have been in the delta to go into their reservoirs without going through a decontamination process. So,
Yeah, I've seen pictures of these things, and yeah, they can get attached to the boats, and I guess they don't want people even hosing off their boats in their yards at home because these things could fall off and get into the sewer system, and
storm drain sewer system,
yeah, and they multiply pretty quickly too.
So, and and I don't mean to change the subject and run down a rabbit hole, but that it's something like this will take this city by surprise if they're asleep at the wheel. So, and how many council meetings have you heard anybody say anything about gold mussels?
None. Zero.
Yeah,
Zilch.
Nothing.
Fellas,
Only
I gotta get to work. I will talk.
Only
I'll try to
fishing.
hop back on. I'll see you guys in a bit.
all right.
All right, be careful.
Later, guys.
This wasn't a planned exit, but I also have to go. It was I had dinner tonight, and I had a few glasses of wine, and I got work in the morning, so I'm
Hey,
a
it's your
little
birthday.
I'm a little sleepy.
It's your birthday. You're entitled. So yeah.
Appreciate it.
Birthday.
Next week I'll be on for a little longer for sure, but sometimes the time difference kind of gets to me.
All right.
Uh,
Well, just as a reminder, next week is Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, and we will be doing something, a little something different. Nelson and I will be together over his place, and yeah, we're gonna do some kind of stream. So yeah, y'all listening out there can tune in, but. Yeah, it probably won't be our regular format, but we'll do something. And so, yeah, if you're around, Alex, absolutely jump on.
Absolutely, yeah, I'll be on. I have Friday off, so I can go all night, because it is a little later on the East Coast for me, but I'll be on. I'll be on there. Yeah.
All righty. Okay.
All
Well,
right.
hey, thanks for coming on tonight.
All right. See you guys.
All right. Okay. So, and then there were three. Okay. So, yeah. Well.
I don't want to make the whole meeting about gold mussels, but it is going to be a factor. If we're talking about going to affect the city in terms of um, impact of a bankruptcy. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Well, you got that, and then you got this other issue that if. Like I said, I got a call on it today from let's say somebody pretty well connected, and they brought up the whole issue with the legalities, what Jason was asked to do. So again, this could mushroom into something else. But anyway, yeah, Jason made a lot of his comments. At the end of the council meeting, they give each council member. I think it's 20 minutes to for their comments, council comments, and so let's take a look at the mayor's comments. Yeah, let me pull this up here.
Forgot. Choo choo. The other thing I wanted to bring up. So Amtrak now has rebranded. They are Gold Runner now because it's not just the San Joaquins. You can literally take that train just about anywhere because then they have through-way buses that will take you to the next location. We had people that were as far down as Madera and Merced that came up, and as far north as Roseville that came down. Lots of people out there, tours of the rail maintenance facility, tours of the new branding of the buses and the train. So that was just a great event as well. And then the last thing
All right. So, yeah, we got we got to see the hat there, and I guess we're gonna call it the Gold Runner, the Samtrack line. I will just caution people on Amtrak, as someone who has logged many miles on the old Amtrak there. I've gone in, especially at different times of the year. One thing you can pretty much count on a lot of the time is delays. And especially in wintertime with storms and whatnot. Yeah. So if there are connecting buses involved, if your train is delayed, uh, guess what? When you get to that final stop with the train and you're a few hours or several hours behind schedule, those buses ain't going to be there. Okay. And I experienced that last time I came back from Oregon. And yeah, I finally wound up taking an Uber back from Sacramento and to get home. But yeah, just be forewarned, of Amtrak. I mean, it's a good service, but yeah, especially this time of year, there will be delays. But yeah, so that was. Let me pull up this. And oh yeah, here's. Oh wait, I think we looked at that already, and we saw about that. Okay, so. Oh yeah, let me pull this up here because this was the final moments at the end of the evening. As I said, they let the council members have time for comments. Well, there were a couple of people that didn't give any comments, Villapudua and Ponce. And if you look at the toward the end there on the right, two empty seats. They split. They left early. Didn't say nothing. They just all of a sudden they just weren't there. And so yeah, I just found that where'd Bill go? There he is. Okay. I found that a little odd. I mean, do they even bother to look out to notice that there's people, sitting there, there's people watching the live stream, or going to watch this shit after the fact and whatnot. They just leave. I mean, they all, they talk about maybe events that have gone down in the last couple of weeks since the last meeting that they've been to, businesses opening or this or that, different events. And I know Mario talks about the potholes getting fixed in his district. Christina's usually on top of events that are coming up and stuff. And this is what they talk about. With everything that's going on in the city, these two clowns just get up and leave. They have nothing to say about anything, especially Brando, who's expecting to get reelected next year. I mean,
But how disrespectful? How disrespectful to their constituents? Hey,
uh, yeah, yeah,
terrible.
yeah. So,
Uh,
yeah, I mean, blatantly obvious too, right there. But
maybe their handlers said they could leave.
yeah, yeah, and no doubt, or maybe Brando's Uber Eats app was going off and he had some deliveries to make.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Hope his car is registered.
uh, yeah, yeah. I mean, the last time his registration was so far out of date, I think his car officially became listed as vintage.
Yeah.
Yeah, along with everything he had in the trunk. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, they're bitch mates.
Yeah.
That's what I call them, and they shouldn't be so presumptuous to think that we don't notice this. And yeah, some of us do.
Yeah. So,
Some of us do. So
well, and, I think, I mean, I live in Michael Blauer's district, um, and I had an issue with something that needed attention as far as the sewer line and stuff, and I called him 3 times, maybe 4, never got a call back. I called Christina and she sent me a text back, and then I got a hold of Chad, and he's a really nice guy, really good guy. He's a good value to Stockton, and it's never been resolved. But the sad part about it is my council member, who I know personally, for some reason doesn't feel he needs to reach back out to me. So um, I take that as a personal vendetta or whatever you want to call it. I just take it personal. So you know, it,
yeah, well, it's a shame because normally, at least during meetings, he seems to be one of the more uh, clear-headed individuals up there. I mean, he's always concerned about the money.
well, yeah, he's a groupie guy. He has to be.
Yeah. So there is that. But hopefully your sewer situation gets resolved, and But as far as council members, you know, uh,
I think they spent. Part of my deal is I see most of the council members. They're more interested in ribbon cutting and and chamber of commerce stuff, which
photo ops.
which is fine, okay. But you know, there's some of us that have been paying property taxes and paying our way and worked here and lived here for a lot of years, and to be disrespected, you know, by our council member is ridiculous. It is. Canepa was my council member before, and I at least he's reached out, and if I had something. So it's kind of sad, you know.
Yeah, there definitely should be better communication with the folks, and unfortunately, it's not just your district.
No, it's not, and
I can imagine how the people in 2 and 5 uh,
that's
feel.
what I'm saying. Kind of dovetails back to that, the getting up and leaving. So
Yeah, and I just want to say with this much malfunctioning, with the council right now and controversy and whatnot. There's 3 seats open next year, and this is a opportunity. All right, the chaos can be opportunity for some folks out there that might be thinking about running. You know, it's well, I didn't mean you per se, but there are folks out there that might be qualified, might be thinking about this, and it's an opportunity. I'm just saying, I'm just putting that out there. Chaos does create opportunities.
damn
So
it,
you kind of have to flip the script and look at things like that. So
yeah,
that being said, this is where we're looking at going forward. We'll have to see, how these things pan out. See if they ever get around to 16.5, expanding this investigation, which I think is a waste of time. They need to get off that and get on with some business, because, like you said, the golden mussel thing. is going to be huge. It's hugely environmental, and for any of you folks out there that supposedly are environmentally conscious and whatnot, this is something that you should really be thinking about and looking at. So yeah, all right. Well, that being said, guys, I think we're going to call it a wrap tonight. And
Thanks for letting me be a part of it.
oh yeah, hey, anytime. And Scotty, any final words?
Yeah, some basic advice. So my usual cybersecurity stuff. So here's the one
Okay.
good tip. Uh,
Right. Yeah, it does make sense.
you get what you pay for.
Yeah, especially with security, even things like door locks and deadbolts and stuff like that. Yeah, there's good and there's cheap, and yeah, the for security, yeah, I recommend don't you know try to avoid the cost cutting. Go for quality. It's worth it in the end. So, okay, Bill, anything you want to plug?
Nothing comes to mind. Just I got the ongoing battle with the building downtown, which is not made any changes. They gave him another $15 million, but
Hmm.
didn't provide any oversight. Um, Golden Mussel is a big deal on the list. There's a lot of stuff. Uh, Oakmore Golf Course is still a big deal, and we're just hoping that the Board of Supervisors put on oversight committee so we can start getting our fingers in what's really going on down there. So that's it. And everybody have a happy Thanksgiving if I don't see you. And, God bless our city. We need help. So it's got to come from somewhere.
All right. Yeah, very true words. Well, thanks for coming on, Bill. And yeah, same to you. Happy Thanksgiving, you and Laura. And yeah, we will see you again down the road.
You bet.
All right, everybody. I'm going to run some ad spots here, and then we'll be checking out.
Guys, have you heard? Nelson, tell the people.
Shady Mob Productions is an official affiliate of HBO Max. Click on the link in the description and sign up so you can watch hit series like Hard Knocks, Game of Thrones, and House of Dragons.
Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
Hey guys, Smacks here. If you guys like gaming, swing over to Twitch, Smacks_TTV, live most nights. Stop by, say hi, drop a follow.
Guys, join me, Alex the Man Angelov, and check out A&A Radio, where we're going to be talking about the latest and greatest financial news, investments, banking, and personal finance. Check out the channel and don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
Guys, you're watching a Shady Mob production. Make sure to follow the Shady Mob podcast, where we break down all the latest content and talk about life. Please make sure to share, like, comment, and subscribe so you can be notified when the latest content drops. You're watching the latest episode of N1 from the End Zone. Please click on that subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops. Now, let's kick it.
Hey guys, I'm here in Stockton today, and I'm with Donna. We're at this beautiful house in North Stockton, and some lucky buyer is going to be walking away with it. Imagine having a brand new place to live. Donna, somebody's looking for a house. What do they got to do?
Give me a call, and we will get you pre-qualified, look for you a home, and then do the process of closing.
All right, and to get this ball rolling, I know they got to talk to you. How do we get hold of you?
At 209-301-5193 or at dgaines@pmz.com.
All right, thank you, Donna. Hey guys, back to the show.
Hey, hit the like button.